This segment is all about exit planning for your business. Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial, and this segment's brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published to lead their fields, educate consumers, and to leave a legacy. Joining me on this segment is Linda Hamilton. She's a CPA and exit planning advisor. Linda, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mark. Glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your work and specifically who are the types of clients that you specialize in helping?
Well, I mainly work, a favorite group to work with are women business owners. In my CPA practice for 30 years, I've worked with many, many, many business owners. And then I started to teach classes in creating a one-page business plan. And that's what led to, I'm muted. Having
You were going, you were okay.
having business owners look at their business plan, not from the perspective of just building income, which is great to have a good income, but also to building value so that they know what happens when they're no longer wanting to run their businesses.
Interesting. Now, with the business owners that you work with, they're great at growth, but when it comes time to selling their business, perhaps, how much thought have they put into that? Do they even know where to start? Do they even understand that exit planning is a thing? What does it sound like when you talk to these business owners when they're getting ready to sell their businesses?
A lot of businesses have put no thought to it. There is no plan. And one of the things that if they wait too long to say they're near ready to sell or they think they are, then 20% or less of the businesses listed for sale actually sell. And so they don't have time to build value at that point. So what I try to work with my clients on and businesses is having a plan in advance to build both income and growth, as well as have an end game of value.
One of the ideas behind the series is really to shine a light on the importance of proper exit planning. Can you tell us a little bit of what are the dangers of not working on this or really, planning properly? And what are some of the big areas or mistakes that you see people make that could sabotage the success of selling their businesses?
So there's a couple areas when I first work with them, I have them do some assessments with me, and we try to look at three areas. One is the business ready for exit? The other is, are you personally ready for exit? And the third is financial readiness. Entrepreneurs put in years and years building their businesses, and they put a lot less thought into what's the next step. And 73% of business owners who actually do exit are often unhappy within 2 years after exit because they didn't have the personal side of the plan. On the business side, I already said that 20% of businesses sell, the other 80% don't. So what happens then? What happens to your family if you have no plan to sell? What happens to your customers, your vendors, your suppliers, all those relationships you've built over time? And over 70% of exits are actually unplanned. So my goal is to make sure that my clients and the women that I work with, I don't want them to be a statistic because there can be a lot of things that happen, and you want to be able to control that exit when the time comes.
So as you mentioned, if a lot of exits are unplanned, so it almost sounds like you should have something in place almost like, when you start the business. Is that right? Like when is the best time to have an exit plan? And, at the very least, how much time should you allow to properly plan?
So that's a great question. And I think you should plan from the beginning, kind of that end in mind, saying at some point, I will exit. Either I will sell, I will leave it to a family member, my employees might buy it. You might merge with another company. So you should from the beginning. I think exit planning is just good business strategy. You're working in your plan so that you're making measures to make sure that you're profitable, you have good cash flow, and that you also can get the most money for your business when you are ready to exit.
Linda, what inspired you to get into this field and specifically help business owners with their exit planning? How did you get started?
I got started I'm a member of a number of organizations that work with other business owners, and one that's near and dear to my heart, the Women Presidents Organization, which is my peer advisory group. And we meet a group of 20 business owners. We meet once a month and we brainstorm. We have roundtables, discuss challenges. And over the years, I've been a member for a very long time. It does come to a point where these are very successful businesses, but it comes to a point where they're maybe starting to feel a little burned out. Maybe that's not something want to continue, and they have no idea where to start on trying to sell it. Some of them try to sell, and actually the deal falls through, and they back out of the program. So that's what inspired me to move down this path of adding exit planning to my services. And I think it's a natural fit for me because I'm also a CPA. I actually approach it from an educational point of view, rather than maybe executing the exit.
Before I ask you my last question, Linda, is there anything in regards to exit planning that I didn't think to ask you that you feel is like important to share with business owners that are considering exiting their business soon?
Yes. So actually two things. One is making sure their systems and processes are well documented, because that can really increase the value of your business when it does come time to sell. And the other is to take the start by looking at some self-scoring assessments. Take off your rose-colored glasses. Maybe don't look at it. Oftentimes the value that you expect you're going to get is maybe much different. And that will give you time to actually explore the journey of identifying your value and increasing.
For business owners listening who would love to speak with you, how can they find you, connect with you, and learn more?
They can reach me through my website, www.lahcpas.com. And that's mostly where you find me. They can check my LinkedIn profile, Linda Hamilton. I always joke that if you Google me, you might find the Terminator instead of Linda Hamilton. So the firm name is Linda A. Hamilton, CPA, LLC.
Linda, this has been terrific. I really appreciate you taking the time to share with my audience today, and I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.
That was Linda Hamilton. She's a CPA and exit planning advisor, and this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals finally get their books done and published to lead their fields, educate consumers, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.